What happens when you give a few guys sharp knives, microphones, and beers? You get the Badger Security and Survival Podcast, where we break down survival and give you tips and strategies to help you prepare for the unknown. Let's do this.
Hey guys, welcome to the Badger Security and Survival Podcast. This is Kelsey. I'm here with Jonathan Romick.
Hey.
And Clay Prose.
Hey.
Episode 25, boys. Topic of discussion?
Nuclear weapons and how it affects you and your preps.
I think I have one of those in my garage.
I do have one in my garage.
I've actually...
I'm just kidding, NSA. Don't come to my house. Just kidding.
I actually have a huge tunnel that opens in my backyard. And
huge tunnel? You have a tunnel?
Yeah, or a silo.
A silo?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
You probably do have a silo. Tis the area.
That is true. That is true.
Tis the area.
Well,
so
nukes are kind of a touchy subject for our kind of people, I'd say.
Well, touchy subject now, anyway.
Well, that's general consensus. But even before all of this, with the little short Korean guy, all the prepper communities had their own opinions on what would happen with nuclear weapons and how they would be affected, how they would affect your preps. Personally, I don't want to have to put on a Mop 4 to go to the grocery store. So,
well, if you step away from the mutually assured destruction aspect of the nuclear weapons, and if we ever start launching like global warfare, I mean, yeah, that was you could survive it if you had the right area, mountainous terrain. Forgive me, my voice here. I've been sick, so my radio voice was a little off. But yeah, if you're up in the mountains and you're not in some trade winds kind of deal,
right?
Maybe, but
well, I don't want to.
Then water sources are going to be contaminated.
Right.
You'll be living through that.
I don't want to be hunting two-headed deer or anything, man. I mean,
if it's not affecting you, it's not affecting the wildlife.
Right.
But you'd have to have a really, really isolated area in a part of the country that's not ground zero. I mean, Midwest, we're pretty much ground zero because of the bases and the silos. East Coast and West Coast, major city population density, they're going to attack those places first. Mm-hmm. So the only thing you're going to have is mountains. In Colorado, not even then, because NORAD and stuff's out there in Wyoming.
Right. We're necessarily not in a safe place either.
Oh, no. We would be one of the first places.
Oh, yeah. We're definitely on the top of the list.
Yeah. I mean...
Which I guess I'm kind of okay with, because, hypothetically, if we were to die, which a lot of people would, if this scenario would happen, I would rather die, direct hit, compact,
right. Rather than melting insides, yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, you dying slowly over a year or whatever. You know what I mean?
Or yeah, even 5 years or 10 years. Only so much potassium iodide you could take to stop the.
What's that Chernobyl? That's that elephant's foot. You're dead within 3 minutes. They went in there and took pictures, and then they died immediately after getting out of the structure.
Right.
I mean, obviously that's a totally different situation, but still, I mean, I don't want to have to be dealing with 13 different types of cancer and melting insides, and I mean, maybe if I grew a third arm, that'd be kind of cool, but
it's definitely more of a pressing issue because obviously North Korea is getting a little bit closer every day from having full capabilities. Just on Tuesday, the Trump administration confirmed that North Koreans claim that they had launched an intercontinental ballistic missile, and they would use their full range of capabilities at our disposal against growing threat.
Well, there was that one that was intra-continental. It didn't even make it out of North Korea.
I was dropped out of the city.
Yeah, but I feel like every time they test, they're getting a little bit further.
Oh, definitely, yeah. They're
definitely making progress is the issue.
Oh, right. Yeah, they've had missiles reach the highest point where the actual, and they're not fully loading. They're not testing the full capability because they know if they. Right,
and they're not loading it with plutonium or any of their
They're not, their resources. Plus, the fuel isn't maxed out either. They have missiles that can, and they have satellite missiles that are capable of reaching those heights, but it's not capable of loading. They're not missiles that can carry a warhead. It's not strong enough. But the fact that they think that they don't have the missiles to do it is totally false. They actually have missiles that launch satellites. They have the satellite.
Right.
So I was watching a small clip on our capabilities, the United States, of shooting them down, and apparently it's like a 50-50.
No, it's less than that. It's like 1 in 7.
Way less.
Yeah.
Way less.
Well, it's like trying to hit a...
Even though the most recent one they tested, it was successful. But
Well, yeah, it's like somebody throwing a football and you trying to hit it with a rock.
yeah.
Or the other way.
Right.
You're taking a rock and trying to hit it with a football.
It's a bullet with a bullet. You're hitting
Right.
a bullet. It's exactly what it is. You know what I mean?
I mean, they do have the countermeasures there. Like, they have the THAAD and stuff like
Well,
that.
and I'm sure we have something that we don't know of that might increase our
Oh,
chances.
we don't. No, so it's
You know.
we have missile defense systems.
Well, I know that.
Alaska
I'm
has
saying
it.
there's
missile
but-
defense systems.
I'm highly sure there's some other top secret stuff that worst case scenario they would use. Not just this whatever the system is called that.
No, the THAAD, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay, so, but I'm saying I'm sure there's something else, like a backup to that. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, we have our own United States-based counter batteries and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've seen on these sites that we're on and that, we have weapons in space that'll not. No, we don't. No, we don't.
I don't.
We don't have.
Well, we have
we don't have
these
Austin
satellites
Power
with,
satellites.
lasers on them.
Yeah, we don't have Austin Power
We
satellites.
don't have laser sights.
Right. Yeah, look up the Star Wars program.
Can you imagine though? Like,
Well, Star Wars was actually
North Korea
nuclear
tried
weapons.
shooting a
That
missile
at
us,
wasn't
or-
counter batteries. That
Well,
was offense,
Right.
offense.
And it turned into you can't weaponize space, which the only way to you can't have a defense thing up there not be have it
North
considered
Korea
being a
can't put
weapon.
nuclear weapons on the ground. How are you going to get them into space?
Right.
Think
Right.
about that. And that was like in the 80s, 70s, and 80s of Star Wars.
Yeah. I think it was
Yeah.
late 70s and 80s, yeah.
Yeah, they're in the height
After
of the
Vietnam.
Cold War.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
North Korea, I'm just reading this article here. The North State-run Korean Central News Agency said its intercontinental ballistic missile, the Hwasong-14, was capable of hitting the heart of the United States with a large, heavy nuclear warhead.
I don't think they have.
What do they
I don't think
consider
a
the heart of
large
America?
nuclear. I mean,
Well,
they said anywhere.
Wouldn't that technically be like rugby, Heart of America?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
center of
That's
North
dead
America.
center, yeah.
Geographic center of North America would be right where North Dakota. Ain't nothing there anyway. The DMV's there.
Yeah, I think they'd
They have a DMV.
I think they'd opt for another 45 miles and hit Minot, North Dakota.
Yeah.
You know.
Where all the silos are and stuff.
That's a good question. What would be the most likely target if North Korea launched a nuclear weapon?
Well, if North Korea launched a nuclear weapon, I'd say Hawaii. It's still one of
But
those.
if they could reach anywhere.
If they could reach anywhere, I'd say if they were crazy enough to do it, they'd go Washington D.C.
That's what I was thinking. Something high value.
If they were capable of doing
A
it,
large population center.
Right.
I don't. Or maybe they go the opposite.
Or New York City.
Or maybe they go opposite. Like, okay, well, maybe if we hit a place like Rugby with 35 people, they won't be as mad.
Oh, why are you insulting rugby like that?
Because it's.
Yeah, more than
It's
35
rugby.
people.
I doubt that. No, they have more than 35 people. Rugby's a great place.
I've been there multiple times.
But
I've driven through. I don't think I ever stopped there.
no, I think the most likely target that they would ever use it on, it wouldn't be the United States. They're not stupid enough.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
They're
I don't
not
think they
stupid
would
enough.
either, but, you know.
I think they're literally building these for the status of it.
Oh, 100%.
That's it. They want to be added to that list of
It's Kim
of countries that
Jong-un
have
in
nuke
his,
capabilities.
Like, young age, and he
Yeah,
wants
he got some
be
weird.
known
Yeah.
among all the greats. You know what I mean?
Oh, he's clearly got some sort of mental disorder.
I think it's for sure. I think he's trying. Like,
Must
it's
be
for sure
genetic,
going to be a
'cause
part
it's-
of his legacy.
right. Yeah, they're
for
all
sure.
they're all crazy.
It's going to be his legacy is getting the nuclear status up for North Korea.
Well, I've
That's
always
his legacy.
I've always kind of wondered how much of their own rhetoric they buy, like how much of that "I am sort of a god," among men.
Yes, the people. I don't know. I don't know how you convince that many people to.
I think it's 100% you're a god by fear.
Like if you watch some documentaries and stuff, it's like something straight out of 1984, man. Like
Right.
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's
Like this weird
yeah.
Big Brother. We want you to live 1,000,000 years. Please don't die. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I saw some of the stuff and it's just like you down the clothes they wear.
Yeah,
it's this
they
weird.
literally have thought police. Like,
Yeah, like they
they literally have thought police.
Yeah.
So how do you?
I mean, and we in the United States are actually coming, at least socially, it's not illegal, but it's social suicide to have basically conflicting opinions with some of these groups of people. I mean, there's certain things you can't say with certain people here without them turning you into a
it's just
at least it's social pariah.
Yeah, social suicide is different than actual.
Oh, exactly.
Public lynchings.
But it always starts that way, though.
Yeah,
it always starts that way. You don't want to say it in public, and then you can't say it in private. But I mean, especially with North Korea, because that's a totally unique situation where they're in the global spotlight. I'm sure there's other smaller places that have similar situations where there's one guy who's in control that's just bonkers, that everybody is.
Well, I think this.
But this is a whole country.
This here is a big deal because of the size of their military, their military capabilities, and the fact that they control everything coming in and out of that country. I mean, they blatantly control any information coming in and out. They don't have access to the internet or anything. They don't have.
Right.
Well, Kim Jong-un does, but nobody else does.
Well, I'm sure their central government.
The internet, but it's not. I think he's
internet,
right?
One of the only ones that have like.
No, the populace has
Korea
North Korea.
Net.
Yeah.
It's like Korean net.
That's exactly what it is. It's like a giant LAN party in North Korea.
Right. Yeah. It's all interconnected.
and it's the only things that are published on there are what their government wants to.
That's how you
see.
Control the people. That's
information. Yep.
So
that's exactly what it is.
Let's kind of switch sides here, or switch grounds here, and say, what is your ideal? What's your ideal protection plan here on the homeland?
Mutually assured destruction is
that's ours. That's our go-to is mutually assured destruction and a preemptive strike if they ever start. I mean, even then, they have those tells, those transporter erector things.
Right.
And you can't. I mean, they roll them out of the silos, they put them in position, and 20 minutes later, they're launching weapons. And you can't scramble jets that fast to preemptive strike it. So
yeah.
I don't know how far I probably looked this up, but I'm not quite sure how far the capability of the tells are. I don't know. I don't think they're
not super far.
No, they're not intercontinental. They're not flying into North America or anything, but they could. I don't know. Because I know Russia was big into the tells thing for a while. What do you think?
No. No.
But a little guest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. That's the only thing is, one, does that mean assured destruction? Two would be because they have a limited amount of nuclear missiles. They're not launching an armada of weapons. Yeah. They're going to launch 1, 2, maybe.
And I really think that,
like you said, that means we have a good chance of shooting them down.
That's a good question. I wonder how many they have.
Right. That's the issue.
Do they have
well,
just the one?
If they're still in testing phase, they might have 3, but none of them work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
that's the other thing too. Is
you have to have a proven and tested missile before you can start building
terrible. They're flying ordnance. That's. But as far as a defense plan is paying attention and being keyed into those things, like listening and watching and making sure that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and especially with North Korea, which is what everybody's worried about. You got to believe that we would have at least 45 minutes of warning.
I mean, the travel time for an ICBM, they say, is 30 minutes.
But that's what I'm saying.
But you're going to have time.
We have stuff in South Korea, as our military bases are there. We have stuff in South Korea that will tell us if something's going up.
Right.
We have intelligence services and satellites that are watching what they're doing. I'm going to say at least 45 minutes is my guess.
So you get a little extra time, but I mean, think about this nuclear weapon. We're not going to know where it's going.
Right. But if I hear that they have a full-on loaded nuclear weapon, I'm probably going to bounce at least a little bit.
I don't know. Where would you go?
I don't know.
Do we hit the bug out location, or do you?
That's a hard decision.
I would hit Bismarck at least.
Well, you can't go much. You can't go south either because it's all ground zero.
Yeah, you definitely can't go south, right?
We can't.
That's right.
I honestly don't know.
Wherever you travel in 45 minutes here is still hours.
I feel like you definitely want to stay as north as possible.
Yeah, I mean, you start.
You know what I mean?
If you start going, I don't know. I don't. just pray for the best, I guess. Like
I guess. I mean, the thing is we don't know how large of a load they would put on it, how large of a load they could get here. I mean, honestly, I'd be more worried about Russian missiles than I would be about South or North Korean missiles. I think one of the only places that North Korea would actually use their weapons on, which they've been quote unquote at war with treaty style, is South Korea. I mean,
don't know. I mean, the guy's crazy, but I think it's just. I don't think he'd ever shoot a nuclear weapon at us.
I think it's all.
I don't think he. Yeah, it's saber rattling. A lot of saber rattling.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, conventional warfare, like conventional ground war and conventional war, is not out of the question because he's gonna poke someone the wrong way.
Right.
Even China.
Well, China said
China's still upset because they're like,
yeah,
you guys are just poking at each other. Like first they're on Korea's side, now they're on our side, and they're back to Korea. Like you guys, y'all stop. Like,
well, I mean, I will say that
the general has ridiculed Trump again. Like, you got to stop this. You can't. I got a button. I got a bigger button. Like, I mean, come on now. This is like.
Well, right. It's playground pushing.
It's what it is. It's chest beating,
right.
Saber rattling.
Yeah, it's.
God, I was reading this article. This guy just. He's like, I guess this is Kim's words. I guess they were not too happy with the gift package we sent them for the occasion of their Independence Day. We should often send them gift packages so they won't be too bored.
What did they send?
He's talking about testing the ICBM on like last July.
Oh,
no.
That's what I'm saying. He's just poking us. He's just
Which Trump's doing the same thing.
He's pushing back.
He's poking them right back. It's like a high school.
It's saber rat. It's what it is.
Exactly. It's just crazy.
And it's crazy because he's been doing this.
I guess Trump does have a little bit more to back it up, but
Big Kim's been doing this for 8 years, and Obama let him.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. Like,
well, I mean, being nice obviously wasn't working either, but you don't need to be tweeting at another country like
tweeting.
I mean, I get it. It's a technology age. The one thing that I did see that I actually sort of agree with is using social media for the president to actually get words from his mouth to the populace. That I get, but the way he's going about it is very childlike. You shouldn't be saying, "I got a bigger button." Come on, man.
I disagree. I don't think anyone in professional like that kind of leadership position should be tweeting and like you shouldn't have. He's like a. I'm a supporter.
So I think
he's like a big child.
That's exactly what it is.
Obama had the opportunity to tweet, but I don't think Obama tweeted a lot.
Yeah, but it was simple things like,
and it also wasn't as
it wasn't politically charged either.
No, which Trump's is a
right,
lot.
or as advertised as having been done either.
Yeah.
But also, if I've got a bigger button is better news than happy holidays, like you know.
Right.
I mean,
Obama would tweet stuff like that, like
Happy Independence Day,
right?
Or, you know.
Yeah. But your response to your first response is go to Twitter.
Hey,
right?
You gotta do what you gotta do.
No,
and that's the point we're trying to make is you don't gotta do it.
Yeah.
I think the use of that is probably not Twitter. Maybe use
who's his public affairs guy? Like
just letting this dude fire off.
I think honestly, it's more of him getting around.
I mean, you can't take the president's cell phone. I mean,
no, I said
Donnie boy, give me your iPhone.
He
Time out.
I think he has one news station on his side, Fox News, I think.
Yeah.
So
in 2 hours, I'll give you the Wi-Fi password back, Don.
Right.
So what do you
do your chores? You get your phone.
Can't really like press release what you want when every other news station is like against you. You know what I mean?
Well, that's it too. But
and
I'm saying,
I think it has something to do with it.
Could you imagine being this public affairs dude and waking up every morning and dreading grabbing your phone? Like,
what did Trump tweet last night?
And that's what I was getting at. Is it's smart of him to use social media to get what he wants to say directly from his mouth, exact quote, without any type of cutting, editing, or spin. Directly what he said, a direct quote from the president. But the way he's going about it is definitely giant childlike. Yeah. I mean, come on, man.
Hey, it does
You're the president of the United States.
It does reach a wider audience, too. It's not just reaching 70-year-old white Americans.
But just, getting back on track here, I think for me, like, the most ideal situation, well, I think for all of us, the most ideal situation would be having just, like, a massive underground bunker with all the tech to the highest degree.
You'd have to essentially live underground for the rest of your life, though.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think it
depends upon how wide scale it is. If we shrink it down into one isolated missile or two isolated missiles, I basically wanted still huge, but
yeah, we're not talking Minuteman series missiles either. The payloads would be much smaller for him to reach.
I basically want one of those bunkers like deep enough, like you'd have to live in for like 5+ years or whatever. Like
it's hundreds
for a direct hit, like, but you would still survive.
Oh yeah, you need something like Cheyenne Mountain or something too. Like,
yeah,
there's
no rad.
Yeah, you're not. There's no hole you're going to dig deep enough. That's not here. You have to be. You'd have to be deep.
Yeah, you're 6 feet of ground and.
I'm saying ideally that's what I'm
going to do it.
That's ideal. It's like the best scenario.
Yeah, if you could and you had the money, the coin to do it. Yes, I would build I would do that anyway because it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's a fort.
Right.
Exactly.
Who doesn't need a fort? Everyone needs a fort. I'm 38 years old. I need a damn fort.
Especially like a $3 billion fort.
Right.
It's amazing.
I'll take a $3 billion anything if you like. I'll give you $3 billion worth of ramen packages. Sold. Thanks. I will take $3 billion worth of literally anything. Literally anything. Literally anything. $3 billion. I don't know if I'd spend $3 billion on a bunker, but maybe if I had $3 billion, I'd spend $100 million.
Oh yeah. I mean, think about it, though. Like,
obviously, if you have $3 billion to spend on a bunker, you probably have billions and billions of more to.
Right. If you had $3 billion to spend, that means you have. Unless you're just crazy, like I have exactly $3 billion. I want to spend it on a bunker.
You have 16 miles of land, and all of it is bunker.
So, like living in Fantasyland for a second, I wonder if there's like a decent sized mountain on an island somewhere that you could totally just like.
You could buy for $3 billion. Absolutely.
No. Like, I'm not spending $3 billion on a mountain because I need the island with the mountain, and then I need another $3 billion to like get all the equipment out there and to build me like a NORAD.
You could. I mean, if like you said, if you did it in Hawaii, I mean that's a pretty low strike area. Why would you bomb Hawaii? Like palm trees and.
But the issue with living on
you gotta be a dickhead to bomb Hawaii.
Living on an island is tsunamis. If it was close enough.
But if you're up in a mountain, tsunami is relatively low risk anyway.
Well, I mean, the only tsunami that's really affected Hawaii was that one in the 70s that hit Hilo. I don't remember. But
if you're high enough, it doesn't really...
Right. It took out the bayfront.
Right.
But if you buy an island with a mountain, why would you... I mean, if I had $3 billion in an island, I'd probably have a beachfront house, but my bunker would be in the mountains.
Right. And there's some pretty choice areas in... like the Appalachians and stuff that are,
Trump tweet again?
Yeah. Could be, I mean, it's out of the like, who's that? I can't think of his name now. He's a YouTuber. I'll think of it. But yeah, he is
like a rich one?
No, he's got quite a few followers, but he's like a homesteader. He lives in the Appalachians. Oh. He has a little community up there. And... I think he's actually his main threat is nuclear war, and that's why he's up there. And he has a community that's not on any sort of like ground zero impact. I mean, they're planning on.
That's what I would do. I would buy.
You don't have underground bunkers because you don't need them because you don't have to survive the impact. You have to survive the fallout.
I would buy an island big enough to support a community of like 25 people.
What is his name? And
just be a sovereign place that I don't have to deal with politics or laws or whatever. And I just live on my island with the interest from the $2.6 billion that I didn't spend.
I would just like want my island to have like the best tech, like the best, the best thing that pops out of the ground and kills 100 people in 10 seconds. Like that type of stuff.
You want Escape from LA except reversed. Yeah. It's not prison.
What you want is a self-sustaining community away from everybody else that has a pretty low risk of figure out the prevailing winds and that kind of stuff, and then not and make it through like the first few, because global cooling is going to happen. I would even imagine with 1 or 2.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're gonna look at some pretty harsh winters for a while.
I'm actually curious about this. I'm sure they've done like some research about the best place to be when a nuke hits.
Well, the ash clouds and stuff alone would block enough radiation to cool the planet by like 6 degrees. I think they said something like that.
I think it's less than that, but even a few, like half degrees is dramatic enough.
Yeah, huge.
Where you're talking 6 degrees. Or we're talking like ice age kind of stuff.
Well, I'm talking if one person launches a nuke anywhere in this world, there's more than one going up. That's end of story.
That's the issue too. Unless everyone's like, okay, maybe we shouldn't do this. This guy's crazy.
If North Korea nuked somebody, like say they nuked us and we nuked them back, that's World War III. Right. End of story.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
but I'm saying if Korea launches a nuclear weapon, do we let it go and then just go in full ground, or do we?
I mean, we could use some air too, but
I don't.
Yeah,
full conventional.
I would say conventional.
Or do you launch missiles back? Is that the solution? No, I don't.
Of course not. We have too many people close to the DMZ to be nuking.
Well, I mean, it's a huge.
I don't think we really have to worry about all this. Cause I do strongly feel we would get like directly hit. Because why would you nuke a country and not try to take out their nukes? You know what I mean?
Well, because they don't have enough to do it.
They don't have the capabilities to hit Minot, North Dakota.
Well, even then, like let's say you hit Minot, that doesn't mean that Minot's out of commission.
The only way that they would be able to do it is to go over the cap and through Russian airspace, and they're not doing that. They are not doing that.
If North Korea's listening, hit Montana first because they have more.
Yeah. I don't think that's true, but
I think they do have more.
I don't think so.
No,
I think they do.
No, they don't.
Montana has more nukes than North Dakota does.
I don't believe that.
I think it's Montana.
It's easily researchable if you're trying to convince them through our podcast. I don't think that's going to work.
I'm pretty sure they know.
I'm pretty sure that it's.
You might.
They think it's Montana, then us, and then Wyoming.
They might.
I guarantee that Montana only has one of the.
They might have.
In the nuclear trifecta, Montana has 2.
Yeah, they might have.
They have
ICBMs, more ICBMs, but we have planes and ICBMs. And planes.
We have 2 of the 3 of the nuclear triad. 2 of the 3. We don't have subs because there's no water.
Yeah.
There's subs, missiles, and
I'm just talking about like
you're thinking
ICBMs,
of turn 2 keys and press a button type of nukes.
Yeah, like
I don't know about that.
Like
yeah, that I don't know.
Silos.
I don't know.
I'm talking about silos. Yeah. They have more silos.
That they might. I don't know either. But I know for a fact we have more. We have more all around nukes.
They did at one point. So.
But again, if we needed to nuke somebody, we're not going to load up B-52s and fly them 72 hours.
The yield is lower on those, and you can just do one. It's more precise. I would say more precise than
all they would have to do is take out
high-altitude airburst kind of a deal.
Well, all they'd have to do is take out some of the warheads on an ICBM. They don't have to launch all 8 and destroy a continent.
Right. That'd be more accurate than launching a... I wouldn't. If I was going to do one nuke, I would do a plane.
I was going to say, but if I'm flying a plane is more susceptible to interception and being shot down than an ICBM is.
Right, so you got to balance that too.
I mean,
if you want to take on some F-15s and 22s, and good luck.
Yeah
right. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
Stratofortreses fly 35,000 feet or 40,000 feet.
Right.
I mean, does surface to air even get that high?
I don't know. We haven't been. I'm sure the technology is there. Whether people have actually implemented it in warfare.
North Korea has some jalopy fighters, I think. That
can they have
fly that.
They have anti-MiGs because that's what that's the type of technology they have. I mean, if you watch their parades and stuff, it's like watching the old footage of the Cold War.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah.
You're like rocking old Russian things where it's like. Half their vehicles, you can see the feet underneath it, Flintstone styling it down the road.
I definitely like just to like start rapping. I think it's definitely. I think you definitely want to be up north as much as possible,
or in the mountains somewhere. Yeah, except Colorado. I think Colorado's pretty much not good. Maybe Pacific Northwest.
I want to be in like mountains that like there aren't a lot of like big population.
Pacific Northwest out of the trade winds.
That's what I would say too.
Desert area down southwest, and then the Appalachian area probably be okay. Yeah. I mean, we didn't get into I wanted to get into EMPs too. Like We can talk about that. Maybe we can talk about that next time.
Yeah.
Because that's a huge thing too.
Well, let's. We're gonna save that one for next time.
I think is it a pressing issue? Nuclear weapons, yes.
Yeah.
Is it going to happen anytime soon?
The probability I think
is very, very low.
Yeah.
Very, very low.
And to cover what we were getting at with this is, I'd be more worried about the 100 some odd other countries that have actual working nuclear weapons rather than North Korea, the one who's trying to make something work.
But it's just in everybody's mind. It's in the news.
If Iran and Pakistan haven't shot nuclear weapons at each other yet, we're not going to shoot. They hate each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Obviously.
Well, and we'll see what happens with those riots. That's a whole
nother
nother subject for another time too. But I mean, all you need is another Kim Jong Un or Kim Jong Il type guy to get in charge over
Iran
in
and Pakistan
and all them guys.
Like the war game, like the what do they call the maps where they show like different probabilities of missiles. There's different scenarios they use. Yeah. Iran and Pakistan just shoot at each other.
Right.
Every single one. Right. Iran and Pakistan exchanging missiles.
It's like the Three Stooges where they just pie each other in the face at the same time.
Right, yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Alrighty, guys. Well, we definitely want to know what your opinions are, so down in the comments below, let us know your opinion on this whole situation with North Korea and nukes in general. What is your favorite city that you think would be the best place?
Favorite city?
Or, just like...
And that doesn't
favorite state, like what location do you want to be?
Oh, I see how you meant for what city.
Yeah, I was going to say that doesn't mean that doesn't mean tell us who you want to see get blown up.
Like
Bears suck.
Where would you want to be if a nuke was to hit the United States? Let us know in the comments down below. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button, and until next time, make yourself ready.
I'm just kidding, Chicago. I love your pizza.
True. Should have brought up.